All right, so good afternoon, early evening, however you want to call it. We told you guys we were eventually going to come with a gangster spotlight. What is the gangster spotlight? Let me tell you what the gangster spotlight is. First of all, I was recording the gangster spotlight about 7 minutes ago, and then I realized that the microphone was off. So this is a second recording, right? I'm throwing too much smoke in the atmosphere. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, what is the gangster spotlight? Mob stories really uh, 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 concerns itself with one ethnic race of people, the Italians, Sicilians, however you want to call it. Okay, I'm not even going to put a name on it. People from a certain part of the world. So when we talk about the mafia and mob stories, we're only talking about gangsters from abroad or in America that are, Italian. But the gangster spotlight is going to spotlight gangsters from all over the world because it's only right. There's mafias all over the world. The Jews have a mafia. South America has its cartels, right? So, the gangster spotlight is where we spotlight some of the gangster shit that's going on all over the world. Now, we know Mexico is popping. First of all, I just want to say to all the Mexicans in Queens, and there's a lot of them, I move like a bunch of Mexicans with bandanas. Shit is on. You know what I'm saying? I just have to say that. And to my Mexican peoples in Colorado, salute to y'all. And you know how we used to say, orale. Anyway, let's get into this gangster spotlight. And of course, Shatter got me the story. Don't even ask. Did jailing El Chapo even matter? Mexico City. The cartel gunman who seized control of the Mexican city of Culiacan on Thursday made two things clear. The Sinaloa cartel is stronger than ever, and bringing peace to Mexico is going to take more than bringing down one man. It was just months ago that American officials were celebrating the conviction of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman on trafficking and murder charges as a crucial turning point in the war on drugs and Mexican organized crime, aka a Mexican mafia, aka Gangster Spotlight. Now, when you say war on drugs, they should just erase that and say business because a war ends. There is no war on drugs. The government has been getting paid on fucking drugs since drugs were fucking invented. Enough with that. The impact cannot be overstated, said U.S. Attorney Ariana Fajardo Orshan, said in July after the notorious Sinaloa leader was sentenced in a New York courtroom to life in prison. But Guzman's capture hasn't weakened the Sinaloa cartel, which continues to send millions of dollars of drugs to the United States each month and which on Thursday artfully outmuscled Mexican federal forces to take control of one of the country's largest cities. Cartel fighters converged on the northern city of Culiacan by the hundreds Thursday afternoon after 30 Mexican soldiers and National Guard members captured Guzman's 28-year-old son, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, who had taken on a leadership role since his father's arrest. Fighters surrounded the house where the younger Guzman was being held, taking 8 Mexican security officers hostage. They simultaneously laid siege to other parts of the city of 1 million people, attacking the state prosecutor's office and blocking roads into town with burning vehicles. After 4 hours, Mexican authorities gave up. They freed Guzman and retreated, a decision made with the goal of safeguarding the well being and tranquility of Culiacan, according to Mexican Security Secretary Alfonso Durazo. The dramatic show of force demonstrated and continued dominance of drug traffickers in this region, and also showed that Sinaloa and other cartels are more complex than authorities often suggest. Law enforcement officials and the media alike had portrayed El Chapo as Mexico's public enemy number one, a narco godfather and an all powerful fugitive for years who topped the Drug Enforcement Agency's most wanted list. With his profitable drug smuggling empire and two daring escapes from Mexican prisons, Guzman was worth billions of dollars and clearly wielded wide influence. But many experts maintain that Guzman was never the sole head of the Sinaloa cartel and was rather the leader of one powerful faction within the group. There are other Sinaloa leaders, all with their own army of armed guards and their own suppliers and clients in the United States, said Miguel Angel Vega, a journalist who had been covering drug traffickers in Culiacan for 15 years. Most people believe El Chapo was the only one running the show, Vega said, but this city is filled with drug lords. We have 20 El Chapos here. 20. Sinaloa members do not refer to themselves as a cartel, but rather as a federation of families, most of whom come from the Golden Triangle, a mountain region where the states of Sinaloa, Chihuahua, and Durango converge. After Guzman was extradited to the United States in early 2017, there were struggles between the faction headed by the Maso Lopez, known as El Licenciado, the graduate, and Guzman's sons. But the sons won, and Lopez was arrested that year. Since then, there seems to have been peace among the factions, and as Thursday's events made clear, they can unite at a moment's notice to defend against a common enemy. Everard Mead, a professor of the University of San Diego who has worked extensively in Culiacan, said the idea that jailing El Chapo would help solve Mexico's security crisis was a fiction embraced primarily by U.S. authorities. Exactly. It was to please the United States. They listen. They know. We know. El Chapo. Come on. There's 20 El Chapos. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what this article is telling you? Nobody in Mexico was under the illusion that it was going to make much of a dent in the organized crime world in any substantial way. This is not a vertically integrated organization where everybody has the same uniform, he said of the Sinaloa cartel. It's much more flexible than that, and it always has been. In other parts of Mexico, the government's so called kingpin strategy of targeting cartel leaders has led to more disruption than has the arrest of Guzman. But while various factions may battle for supremacy, generally they just morph into new groups and continue to engage in the same criminal enterprises. At this point, Vega said, targeting leaders is pointless exercise. They get one drug lord and then another, and it's like an endless story, he said. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, who took office in December, appeared to agree on the point. Yeah, let's agree on that you're all getting paid as well from these drug lords, because believe you me, if they wasn't getting paid and they wasn't paying the people that was running the armies, they drop bombs on these motherfuckers. So let's not act like these politicians ain't as crooked as these fucking drug lords. But what politicians are not? He criticized his predecessors for waging a war on cartels and said that addressing poverty is better than a militarized approach. Yet in practice, he has mostly continued the military approach, sending armed federal forces to hotspots around the country. Those forces appeared to be employing the kingpin strategy when they sought to detain Ovidio Guzman. The president said he supported the move to free Ovidio because violence cannot be confronted with violence, and the capture of one criminal cannot be worth more than the lives of people. On Saturday, Lopez Obrador said he received a phone call from President Trump, who expressed his solidarity with Mexico after the events in Culiacan. Lopez Obrador's statement left an impression among some here that Mexico lacks a coherent security plan, a worrying sign given other recent explosions of violence, including the killing of 14 police officers in Michoacan state on Monday. Many demanded more answers from the government. We should see resignations and changes in strategy, tweeted Adrian Lopez, the director of the Sinaloa based Northwest newspaper. Columnist Hector de Molion said on Twitter that Mexicans will remember Thursday's chaos in Culiacan as a turning point for Lopez Obrador's administration. Let's save this date, the day the Mexican state was overpowered and humiliated by organized crime, he said. In the meantime, he said, the narcos are celebrating in Culiacan. Gangster Spotlight, the Sinaloa cartel. There's a little education on them. Mexico City, south of the border, shit is popping. North of the border, shit is popping. So there you go. Stay tuned for more Gangster Spotlights. 420 report coming soon. Entertainment report coming soon. Mob snitches coming soon. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about. Make sure you like this video. You gotta like the video. This is our first one. You understand? Throw some respect on the name. You already know who it is. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Salute.